Behold, I stand at the door knocking. Christmas, the Lord is knocking to come into your home, into your heart. One virus matters: our ego, our fallacy that we can claim ownership of right and wrong. Clever deceit is still tempting us. That truth is nothing more than a feeling. My job is to assist the truth, to remove the shroud of opinion and reveal our spirit. The battle for our souls is now. My name is Monsignor Cantuzanu. Game on. Merry Christmas! Isn't that a greeting we love to give and hear at this time of the year? But I wonder, what about now, this year, at this time? Things certainly do not feel the same. And I suspect there's a lot of Scrooges out there and a little bit of bah humbug. Take politics. Those for Biden, those for Trump. And there doesn't seem to be any middle ground, and I don't know how we're going to work our way through this. Pandemic, not letting go, and every day we hear upticks, and an increase in cases. So we're concerned about that. The vaccine's coming. Some people are anxious about it. Some people are worried. And we're beginning to hear maybe we're never going to get out of this new normal, as they call it. So in the midst of all of this, here comes Christmas. And I'm sure part of us kind of feels a little bit like, well, what difference does it make? I mean, we got real problems here. And normally Christmas is a nice distraction. We like getting together with family and friends and all the beautiful things about this holiday season. But this year we kind of think like a little baby, that's nice. But what can that really do to help us? We have a lot more things to worry about. Let me ask you a question. Who lives in your house? Does that make a difference? You think about it. Who is in your house makes a difference. And you get a visitor and you're a little uncomfortable with them. They take you out of your routine. It makes a big difference. I think in terms of family, if somebody's in a bad mood, doesn't affect everybody. So who's living in your house makes a difference. And so that's a question I want to leave you with at this Christmas. Who is living in your house? Now, we're celebrating the birth of Jesus, our Savior. In prophecy, as they look forward to this wonderful moment when God would come true to his promise, we hear that the prophets called Jesus Emmanuel, a name that means God is with us. That's the message of Christmas. God is with us. And when John, he's the fourth gospel, and he was the last one to be written. So I had a little bit more time to reflect upon the meaning of all of this. And there's those beautiful words, and those that are familiar with the Angelus have prayed this. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. Now, if you look at a literal translation of that phrase, it says he pitched his tent among us. And what does that mean? God made his home with us. He wants to hang out with us. That's the message of Christmas. Who's in your house? God himself wants to live in your house, in your home, and in your heart. But of course, we got to let him. And later on, that same John will talk in the book of Revelation, behold, I stand at the door knocking. Christmas, the Lord is knocking to come into your home, into your heart. It makes a difference who's living in your home. At night, when I get tired of all the news and all that, one of my escapes is Everybody Loves Raymond. I'm sure you see many of those episodes. And, the dysfunctionality of the family. Well, there's one episode where the granddaughter, the daughter, Allie, as a school project, she researches and finds out that they have a relative in Italy. And so, as part of the school project, she writes a letter to this relative. And lo and behold, one day, this lovely Italian woman comes claiming to be their relatives. And she's a wonderful person, doesn't speak English. But it's interesting. What happens is the whole dynamic of the family changes. You know how they are normally, picking on one another, arguing, fighting? That all changes. There's joy in the house. They treat one another with respect. It's a whole different ballgame. Who's living in your house makes a difference. As it turns out, the Aunt Serena who came was not really a relative. And so it was only short-lived, the change. But it tells us a powerful lesson. And so what difference does Christmas make? It can make all the difference in the world. Instead of becoming distracted with all of these challenges, ask yourself, who's living in your house? I hope that is Jesus who comes to save you. Knowing that, open your hearts, and indeed, have a great Christmas and a wonderful and a blessed New Year. God bless.